Hello and thank you for purchasing the Breadcrumbs Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use it. With this section, you can add custom breadcrumbs at the top of your product, collection, or any page on your store. A usual breadcrumb on Shopify looks like this. So it goes straight from home and then to the product, okay? And maybe if this product is attached to the collection, maybe it says home, the collection name, and then the product name. So that means that you cannot really control the path to your product. But we added a feature using Metafields to customize the path to your page or your product. This one doesn't have any, and this one has Metafields, so we can control this. I'll explain how to set up these Metafields in a moment, but for now, let's go over to the styling settings. And the first option is the content max width. By default, it's 1280, but you can customize this to make it smaller or bigger depending on your page. In this case, I want to align it with this image, so I'm gonna keep it like this. Next, we have the section top and bottom margin. This is the outside distance of the section. So right now it's 20 pixels, but if I increment this, I'll make more room right here. The same at the bottom. So if I increment this, we'll make more room down here. But maybe this is too much, so I'm gonna keep it at 20 and maybe at the top 30. Okay, next we have the horizontal margin, and this is pretty much the same, but on the side. Right now it's 0, but you can use this to make more room over here. But for now, I'm gonna keep it 0. Next, we have the same styling settings for mobile. We have the top, bottom, and horizontal margin. And down here, we have the link settings. And the first option is the gap between links. So right now, by default, it's 20. But if you increment this, you can adjust this distance between them. But maybe this is too much, so I'm gonna keep it 20. Next, we have the alignment of the breadcrumbs. And by default, it's on the left, but you can also have it center like this or to the right. But on this example, I'm gonna keep it on the left. Next, we have an option to include the home as the first link. So when this is enabled, you'll see the home page right here. So if I disable this, we'll see that we're hiding that home page. But on this example, I want to show it, so I'm gonna keep it enabled. Next, we have an option to include the current page as the last item. So that means that goes through the path and then show that last link, which is this one right here. Okay, so if you disable this, you're hiding that active page. But for now, I'm gonna keep it enabled because I want to show it. Next, we have the character or symbol between links. So right now by default is this over here, but you can add your own like this, or maybe something like that, or a dot. Okay, so it's up to you what symbol you want to use, or if you don't want to use any symbols, you can keep it blank. Okay, but for now I'm gonna keep it like this. Next, we have the links image option, and this is in case you don't want to use this symbol. You can add your own symbol using this field. So for example, I can do something like this. So instead of this, I'm showing this image over here. And then down here we have the image width. By default is 30 pixels, but you can increment this to make it bigger or make it smaller. So if you have a custom icon, you have this option, okay? But for now, I'm gonna remove it because I want to use this symbol. Next, we have the links area styling, and the first option is a background color. So you can add a color in here using this field. Maybe we can add something darker like this. Next, we have the border radius. And with this, we control the corners of the area. So right now it's 20 pixels, but if I put it at 0, you'll see that there's no curves around the edges. But I really like the oval shape, so I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay, next we have the padding top and padding bottom. And while the margin is the outside distance, the padding is the inside distance. So right now it's 0 pixels, okay? But if I increment this, we'll make it more room inside this area. The same at the bottom, okay? So maybe something like this, and we'll create that room in here. And then the horizontal padding, which is the same but on the sides. So if I increment this, we'll make it more room inside this area. And right now they're different, so I'm gonna make them the same like this. Okay, and maybe on border radius, because now it's bigger, because we added this padding, we can increment this to adjust those curves to make it more oval. Okay, next we have the same settings for mobile, padding top, padding bottom, and horizontal padding. Next, we have the link styling, and the first option is to make all links all caps. So when this is enabled, you will see them like this. Okay, but for this example, I'm gonna keep it disabled. Next, we have the links color, and right now we don't have a color, so this color is from your theme. But if I select a color, all these links will be this color. Okay. Next, we have the links color and hover, and the hover color is when a user puts the mouse over the link, we can add a highlight color. So maybe something like this. You see that highlight color and hover. Okay. Next, we have an option for showing the underline on hover. So you see that line below the text. So right now it's default, but if you disable it, you'll see it like this. So there's no line. Okay, but for now, I'm gonna keep it enabled. Next, we have an option for using a custom font. So when this is enabled, you can select a font from this list. So maybe we can add something like like this. Okay, so you can add a custom font from this list, but you can also add a custom font on your theme. Let's say you're loading a Helvetica on your theme. You can put here that custom font family name like this, Helvetica, and this will grab this font over here. Okay, but in this case, I'm gonna leave it blank because I want to use this font. Next, we have the font weight, and with this, we control how thin or how bold this font looks. So right now it's default, but if I select 700 to be bold, you'll see that it's bolder. Okay, but in this case, I don't need it, so I'm gonna keep it default, but you have that option. Next, you have the link font size and the letter spacing. And right now, these two are 0. So when using 0, it will be the default from your theme. Okay, but if you want to change it, you can use this field to make it bigger or make it smaller. And the same with the letter spacing, that is 0. And with this field, you can control the distance between the characters horizontally. So right now it's 0, but if I increment this, you see that we're making room between these characters over here. Okay, so you can select it to be all the way like this, or smaller, or keep it 0 to be default for your theme. And down here we have the same settings for mobile. We have the font size and the letter spacing. And actually, I think I'm gonna change the color of the background to be darker, maybe something like this. Okay, and change the link colors to be like that. And then with the highlight, looks good for me. So I'm gonna save it, and that's it for the styling settings. Now I'm gonna explain how to customize this path over here using the Metafields. Okay, so for this, we need to go to the settings on your store. So I'm gonna click on another tab. Let's go to the settings. Okay, and once you open this up, you go to the custom data tab. Okay, and in here you will add Metafields. So if you want to use the Metafields on your product, you will click on product. I will click on add definition. I will see add product Metafield definition. And on name, we'll add breadcrumbs like this. And then on namespace and key, instead of using custom.breadcrumbs, we will use qwiqode.breadcrumbs like this. Okay, and then on description, we can add something like custom breadcrumbs for product. Then we will click on select type. And from here, you can select single line text and then list of values. And when selecting single line text with a list of values, we can completely customize the wording of that link. Right now, we won't see what we had because I removed it. So right now it's not there, but we will add it in a second. Okay, so let's keep it as list of values, and this can stay like this. We can click on save. Okay, so we see it right there, breadcrumbs, single line text, and used in 0 products. So now let's add some data to this product over here, the moisturizer, so we can see it right here before the moisturizer. Okay, so let's go back. We can close this, and then we will need to go to that product, clicking in here, and let's find moisturizer. Okay, and once you're here, you can scroll down and you will see the Metafields area, and you will see that breadcrumbs field that we just created. So we can click on it. I will see the single line text. Okay, so when adding the value using the single line, we'll add first the label that says skincare, and then we will add this symbol over here, the tilde, and then a link to that page. And this link can be anything. It can be a collection, it can be a product, it can be anything on your store. Okay, so let's say you have a collection that is called skincare. You'll put here your store link. Okay, and then collections, skincare, like this. Okay, so if I save this and we go back to that product, I'm gonna refresh the page. You'll see that skincare over here with that link to the collection. As you see it here, it says collection/skincare. Okay, so that link, it can be anything on your store. Okay, so right now it's only one, so it's home, skincare, and then the product name. Okay, but let's say you want to add another level. You will go back, and in here you will click on add item, and then you can add another item. Let's say creams, tilde, and then instead of skincare, we'll add creams. Let's say you have this collection and you're nesting the creams inside the skincare. So you can add that custom link in here with that custom label. If I save it, and if we go back and refresh, you'll see that new item over here. And from here, you can change the order. So you can put creams first or add any other and then change the order using drag and drop. So you have that option. Okay, and in this case, this product name will show up in here. But let's say you don't want to use this same name at the end. So let's say instead of moisturizer, you want to say face product, for example. So in that case, you will add here face product, okay, tilde. So you would add here that product link, custom label called face product. Okay, so I'm gonna save it and go back and refresh the page. We'll see that face product over here, which is a custom label for this. But in this case, we'll still see in that last name, even though we added a custom label for it, we'll see it here, which is this one. So we want to hide this because we want to use this one instead of this. Okay, so in this case, we'll go to the link settings and then disable this option to include current page as last item. So when this is like this, we'll see it like that. So you have the face product, which is a custom label for this. So you have that option. Okay, but for this example, I really don't need a custom label for this product. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it like this and remove that last step from here. So in case you want to add a custom label or custom title instead of this one, you have that option using these fields over here. But for now, I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. Okay, so that's when using single line text. So you have complete control of what to show over here. Okay, but you also have an option that instead of using single line text like this, you can just add collections. So to add collections, let's go back to the settings and we will go to the custom data and then we go to products, and this one we'll need to create it again. So I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna delete field and it saves values like this. Okay, so now we can add it again. We go to add definition. We'll say breadcrumbs, the same. On custom, we will put qwiqode.breadcrumbs like this. And then description, we can add something like breadcrumbs from collection. Okay, and on select type, you can add here collection like this, and then list of collections. And then we can save it. Okay, and now let's go back to that product. We have it here. And on breadcrumbs, we'll click on it. So instead of single lines, now you have collections. Okay, so you can click on these collections, maybe something like this, and feature like this. We'll see that we'll go to beauty and wellness, then feature, then the name of the product. Let me show you. If I save this, and we go back to the customizer and refresh in here so we can get the new values, you'll see now that we have collection links, the same in here. So the main difference between these two methods is when using a collection list, the name will be automatic from the collection title. So you cannot change this. But in case you don't need a custom label for each of these links, you can just add it as a collection list like we're doing right now. So you have that option, okay? And this Metafield option works with any page on your site. So right now we're on the default product, but let's say we want to go to a collection page. We can add that breadcrumbs like this, put it on top, maybe adjust this and the font size. So you can style this however you like. Okay, but right now we just see home and then the collection name because we don't have any meta fields. So if I save this and we go back to the custom data, in this case, because we want to use it on a collection template, we will need to click on collection. So we'll click in here, we will add a definition. We'll say something like this, breadcrumbs, and then change it to qwiqode.breadcrumbs on collections and select type. And from here, you can select the single line text to add your own custom labels and custom links, or you can also select a collection or a product or a page. So all of this will be direct links, but you cannot control the label. So in this case, I'm gonna use single line because I want to customize the label. And then I'm gonna click on list of values because I want to use more than one. So I'm gonna save it. And there we go. We have the breadcrumbs on a collection. So if we go to that beauty and wellness collection by going to products, collection, beauty and wellness, we'll see down here on the Metafields that we have those breadcrumbs. And because it's a single line, we can add our own custom label. Okay, so maybe we can add something like this, lifestyle, we add a tilde, and then the custom link for this label. Okay, let's say on lifestyle you have a page that is called lifestyle. So remember that you can add any custom link and any custom label when using the single line text. Okay, so I will click on save, and if we go back to the collection, you will see that custom label with the custom link before the current collection. So you can add it using this Metafields. And the same way we added this to a product and also a collection, you can add it to any page from the custom data. Okay, so you can add it to product, collection, pages, blog post. Okay, so it will be the same method. You will click on it, you will add the definition, and then on the template over here, you'll select that template, add the section, and it will show up automatically. Okay, so for now, I'm gonna go back to the product. I really like the final result I was able to accomplish using the Metafields, so I'm gonna keep it like this, and that's it. Thank you again, and if you have any questions or if you run into any issues, please don't hesitate to contact us via the support page on our website. Thank you and take care.